Hello my kindred spirits, and welcome back to another video. Today we are still in summertime and we will be creating an envelope out of an old handkerchief. Now if you do not have an old handkerchief, you can use material. Actually, you could use paper. It's completely up to you. I am a handkerchief. Actually, it's spelled handkerchief. Handkerchief. I always forget the D in there, and it makes sense because it's it's in your hand. But I am a junkie for these. In fact, I had to stop making myself buy them because I was starting to get over the top with them. But now I want to buy more because I have this project that I have in mind that I found on Pinterest. And once I do the project, it's making kind of like a curtain out of and putting it on a screen. I have an old screen that I want to do that too. So that's definitely on my want to create list. But I did find these. This is an older one. I think I got it in a Happy Meal actually. And then these three I actually ordered. They came in a packet, which if you got the Anna Green Gables kit, journal kit, you received a handkerchief, and those actually you can buy on Amazon, and they are quite a big quite a bit comes in there. And when I was looking up handkerchiefs, I still say handkerchiefs, maybe the D is silent, but they a lot of people thought they were gross because you wipe your nose or whatever and then you put it back in your purse. Which I guess is kind of gross, but it actually saves the environment on all the tissues and stuff. And my grandpa had one, and I think the older generation definitely used them, and so that's kind of near and dear to my heart. But anyway, but we're not going to be blowing our nose. I like to just have them also in there, just because if you have to rub your eyes, or if you're shedding a tear, you have you have something in your purse, or wipe your glasses down, whatever the case is. I still like to have one in my purse. But I'm going to use one of these because I'm going to actually, last night I watched the sequel of Anna Green Gables. I think it's Anne of Avonlea. I don't know. I have the whole box series, and I forgot how much I love that one. I always start out with Anna Green Gables, and then I never quite make it to it, but it's where she goes to she's at the school for girls, and they go to, they put on a ball for a fundraiser, and she has the most beautifulest dress on, you guys. Oh, so pretty. It has like roses around the collar, and she has roses in her hair. It's just gorgeous. And then she ends up going outside, and she's walking, and it's got this train, and it's just beautiful. Anyway, so I found these. I knew I had some of these in my stash. There's a little junk store here in the town that I live closest to, and they have all kind of junk journaling things, and I know I bought these there because I could not pass up any kind of roses ever. And they are going to be chunky in my journal, but I definitely want to use them because these reminded me of the movie last night with Anna Green Gables. So let's get to it. Okay, so first of all, are you ready to be amazed? Check out the most teeniest, tiniest iron I have ever seen in my life. I actually bought this to go with, we did VBS, and I thought I was supposed to be able to put it on here, but it looks like it melted this, so I'm not sure. It came with this. I'm not sure what this is for. But I do not put your iron, maybe you put your iron down on standing up, because that does make sense. You wouldn't have your iron face down on anything. But anyway, I just did that now because I didn't end up using it because we didn't end up doing that craft. I was going to do those beads, that you iron. But after a couple of days with the kids, I'm like, yeah, this wouldn't be a good craft to do. So we were going to make crosses, and I was like, yeah, that's not going to work. So let's go ahead and use our little cutest iron ever. And if you have an iron, fine. If you don't, fine too. I think I could probably have smoothed this out with my hand, but I really wanted a nice, neat crease in my handkerchief because I'm actually going to be cutting it. So, and I don't really know how fantastic this is, But like I said, I bought it to go with doing BBS. And I was so paranoid also with the heat because last year, are you right? I know I told the story because I felt so terrible. And the kids remembered this year that happened. I felt terrible. But last year we used a hot glue gun and I burned the cutest little fingers ever with a hot glue gun. It was a little bitty girl and I felt terrible. So I was also paranoid about having the heat, anything hot around the kids and me. Okay, so basically we're going to be creating a square. And so I folded it in half and I cut it in half. And then I'm going to take the piece that's cut in half, like, you know, take it and then fold it in half. So basically you're going to end up with a square. And you could use the whole entire handkerchief, but for our little journals, for my little journal, I would want, and I have an idea what I'm going to be doing, what I want to do with my little pocket. So, and then I'm just ironing this just to kind of like get all the wrinkles out and then create a crease. And they're like this. I don't know if I would recommend the iron. It's kind of like awkward. It doesn't stand up quite right. I really thought it was going to be a little bit bigger. Okay, a whole lot bigger. But not a full-size iron, if that makes sense. But this is like the teeniest, tiniest little iron. Okay, so now we're going to end up with a square. And what we do is we're going to fold it all in like this. This probably wasn't the best background because it's flowers and this flowers, but... And basically we're going to be making us a little pocket like that. I hear the cat. I don't know where she is. And then we're going to be folding it down like that. Okay, I'm going to have to let her out because she's not going to let up. Come on, Maggie. Sorry for the interruption. She is our older cat and she is relentless because she will sit there and meow and meow and meow. Like, she will sit there and look through the window and I'm on the phone so I can't get up and like answer. And you know, they can't go, I have two cats. They can't go out at the same time. They have to like... One has to go out, and then now the other's over there going, oh, I want out too. Yeah, I didn't have a good night's rest because they kind of kept me up all last night, and, well, Pokey did too. He is not innocent in this at all. But they sleep all day because it's so hot outside, and then they're like, oh, it's a party at night. Yeah, let's party. And I'm like, no, I'm tired. Okay, so then I'm going to come down. And I think I'm going to bring mine all the way to the end because I really like that pattern. I mean, this iron does the duty. That does the job. Okay. And ta-da! We got us a little pocket. Now... Let's see here. So my thought process is probably what I would end up doing is cutting this and then gluing this to the top. But I'm going to tell you guys what I want to do because part of the book that I've been referencing, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to do something along those lines, but I couldn't figure out how I was going to incorporate it. But basically, they do potpourri packets, you know, and I think that's so sweet. I've done those all the time. But, you know, potpourri is just not a real big thing anymore. In fact, I really don't even know where to... I looked online and you can buy rose hips and little rosebuds and stuff, but they're a little pricey because I'm thinking, okay, I have a little project. And so I don't know. So I'm on the look for some potpourri. If you guys have some suggestions, let me know. I thought about checking Hobby Lobby to see if they had anything. But I want to make a little sachet with the potpourri. So I'm going to actually use a glassine envelope, because I don't want just the potpourri to be, now, okay, let me not get ahead of myself. I don't want the potpourri to be just not contained, you know, where it can bleed through it can bleed through the handkerchief. But I was going to tell you, I take that back. I do know where I can get some, but they only come to, she's at our event in Warrington, and she only comes like twice a year, so they won't be here till end of September. So I really am going to look for some and see if I can find some before then. If not, you know what, this project, this little book will be on my happy shelf, and I will be able to, you know, add it later. So I just basically cut that envelope, and then wherever there's an opening, I put some glue. So I think what my process line is that it will open up, and when it folds over, let's see what it looks like, because I'm going to actually end up gluing, yeah, I'm going to have to end up cutting those, so we'll cut those, but I'm going to actually end up gluing it like this. And then when this folds over, I'll put my potpourri in there, and when this folds over, ta-da! Okay, and then my book will smell so pretty. You can also use scented stickers, which I had thought about that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use fabric glue on this part. This is fabric tack. Let's go ahead and cut this right to the edge, because I will be folding those in or doing something with them. Now you can use your sewing machine on this as well, but I just didn't want to break out the big sewing machine, and I wasn't real sure how to film it, you know. Okay, so we got all our folds in. Basically, we're just folding in. I created this out because of my bag. I cut this envelope in half, and then I'm going to add fabric glue on the back side of it. And put the fabric glue, put it in place, and then we're going to bring this up, so we're going to put fabric glue on this, and I'm going to actually have that, you could actually put, if you had a design in the middle of your handkerchief, because I know a lot of handkerchiefs have a real pretty design in the middle, you could actually fold these in and put this up, but I think it looks, especially with this being just white, I'm going to just fold that bottom half in. I guess what I'm saying is there is really no wrong way. We're basically just folding it in and creating, you know what? I see a dilemma here. Let's see what we can do to fix it. I don't want this to glue down, so let's trim off. I'm basically trimming my handkerchief around my envelope. I was saying I just put a big bunch of glue on the top, and it's going to glue in my envelope, and then I wouldn't be able to put anything in it. We have a very small opening. So I'll just wipe that glue off there, so we still have this opening here. Same with this side. Let's see. Actually, this side, I ended up trimming it more than the other side, so I did this one the right way. So I'm just adding. You can use, I was on the fence about using hot glue, but since I knew I was going to be using this glassine bag, I knew it might melt that wax, so That's why I'm using fabric glue, but you can definitely use your glue stick. Anything probably would work, I would think. Okay, so now the question is do we want to just cut this off and it would leave it open, or do we want to tuck in? Let me just play around with this for a minute. That's not going to work. What if we do this? Kind of creates a little bit of bulk, but I bet if I iron this it would be fine, or I could just cut it, which would work too. So let's just do that. Okay, now if you're not using an envelope inside the bag, you know, if you're not going to put any, you don't have to go through all that trouble, I don't think. Oops, see, I've already glued this side. I guess it still has an opening here. See, I don't know how that happened. You know what? Oh, I know what I did. Never mind. It's fine. That's where I glued the side of it. It's already dry, you guys. That's amazing. So it still has a little pocket that I'm not going to put a ton of potpourri in because I don't want it to be bulky, right? So I'm going to go ahead and glue this envelope I'm going to use my stick glue because, like I said, I don't know if, and I think this stick glue is going to work just fine. I don't know if, I'm afraid my hot glue gun would melt it, and actually I could have used fabric glue, but I'm just going to do that. That works just fine. Ta-da! And there you have it, you guys, a cute little envelope. And I mean, at this point you could do so many things. You could do trim, you could do a button. You guys, how's your button exchange going? I've been getting some happy little buttons in the mail. So yeah, so I'm gonna actually, but I know this is gonna create massive bulk in my book. That is the only thing, but I can't help it, you guys. I love these roses. So I'm going to glue. I already plugged in my hot glue gun over here, and I'm just going to add a little dab of hot glue gun on the end of this rosebud. And these are paper. They're not real dry roses. And I'm just going to kind of squish it down. Keeping the shape, but still squishing it down. And actually, I could see myself adding some trim, you know, like to finish it out, you know. You know, do I have enough? Let's see. I would probably add this if I had enough. I don't know if I do. Oh, you know what? I think I do. Let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. Embellish, 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 I say. So I'm going to cut that in half. And I'm going to use my fabric glue. I'm just going to run it down the edge here, little drops. And actually I can put a little curve on it. To be honest, if I glue it flat onto a surface, you're not going to see the back side, so I may do something a little different in my journal. So I think what I'll do at this point, you guys, is I will, I'm going to go see if I can find some potpourri, and then I'll come back and show you guys how I'm going to add it to my journal. If I don't find it before the end of camp, I'll just keep looking. But I'll still show you guys how I'll probably just like pop it in my journal. Kind of looks incomplete, doesn't it? Now that I added that on there, which means I gotta add more stuff, which is fine. I need to add something along. That looks silly how it kind of cuts off there. To me it does. Let's see what else I got on here. I see some more trim over here. Let's see what, if I can get this to work for me. I have some of this trim. Oh, that would have been so pretty, you guys. Oh. Oh, you know what? We could do that. That would work. Okay. This is so pretty trim. And that covers up those sharp edges, and it adds more roses to it. Some more pretty roses. Oh Lord, I think we got a problem. I hot glued the rose down. It's glued my envelope shut. I got it open. Emergency situation. So I'm just going to trim this. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so we have the envelope folded. Actually, could add some lace in here. This is another little tidbit of stuff I bought at that little store. I love that little store. I may have to go back over there. Believe me, I don't need any more trim, but it's always fun to like support small businesses, and I do use everything, so. Oh, and this even has like a little ruffle to it. Yep. We're embellishing. So I'm going to add, I should have put this down first, to be honest with you, and that'll tucked it up underneath that ribbon. I don't know if that ribbon is still wet. Yeah, I'll just take it right on off, and we'll do a redo. I'm going to tuck this little lace part and then come back and put the ribbon on top. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up because while that glue is drying, I don't want it to glue my envelope shut. So, okay. I love it. So yeah, so I'm going to look for some little potpourri and pop it in here. And then let me get my book and let's just kind of play around with what I'm thinking. I don't know yet how I would add this to my book. This is the sweetest. Could you imagine getting this with like your Happy Mail with your buttons? I wish I would have thought about that, but that's okay. So it's almost like I want to tuck it somewhere because I want to be able to remove it, you know. Oh, you know what? I could. Thinking I could, for like just paper clip it in here. And like I said, I think I'm just going to be shutting this out, like closing up the back. You wouldn't be able to see the ribbon, but or I don't know. We'll see. We'll play around with it and see. Even if I tucked it in, you know, like this or something, and just had it as a little, you know, tuck in and flip through. But I do want to make sure that when I add the potpourri, that I kind of seal this because I don't want it to open up and come out. So, you know, that could be something. But for now, I'm going to let this lay flat and dry, and then we'll come back and add it in our journals. Okay, you guys, I can't wait to see what you create. Have fun. You know, mistakes happen like I did, or I over-embellished and then I had to rebellish, which I actually ended up loving. So it was fun. All right, you guys, y'all have a super sparkly rest of the day. Bye-bye.